Hello and welcome to the White Rabbit YouTube channel. Once again, I noticed that where is it? This very obvious. It's getting fixed on Tuesday and you'll never see it again. Haha. All right, so the continent of Mu, that was quite the adventure. It was actually one of the very first episodes I started working on, so I had more time to go deeper, as is obvious for how long it was. And it's fitting that it got finished, the four parts, before November 5th, the 1 year anniversary of the channel, Guy Fawkes Day. Part four was posted on November 3rd, so yay for me. I love making the whole thing, but I'm glad that I don't have to have it in the back of my mind that I have to finish it because now it's done. There is the one more thing is I have so I did part one, part two, part three, part four. Originally it was supposed to be one long episode, but I was convinced to cut it up. But the full version will still be posted, um, minus the end of part one, start of part two, etc. Just the introduction and conclusion with all the meat in the middle. I might save it for an emergency in case I don't have an episode ready, but let's see how it goes. All right. So I'm going to do a recap of part one, part two, part three, and part four. And then I won't do the comments for part one because I already did the live for part one, but I'll cover everything except for the comments of part one. So let's get into it. All right. I'll do a really quick recap because it's pretty long by itself. So, part one, sunken land masses around the known world, Lemuria, Atlantis, Sandy Hobland, Zealandia, lots of them. All right. And then the pole shift, where the Earth moves and moves back after on the seventh day, erasing all the proof that it happened. All right. The rise and fall of the continent of Mu. So, over here, well, it's mostly like over here. So they went to North America, they went to South America, some went to Antarctica, some went to Tartaria, Japan, all the remnants of their empire. And then after several global resets, the continent fragmented, and then they relocated even more to existing settlements. Then there's the Chan Thomas controversial book, The Adam and Eve Story, A History of Cataclysms, that I quoted from the book. The Younger Dryas Period, and The Origins of the Anunnaki. That was part one. And I remember when I had all these things I wanted to talk about, and I had the dates, and I was trying to line up BC and BCE, and turns out they were the same. But then there's also like Anno Mundi, which means year of the world, which also means nothing, kind of. And then there's like there's just, it was really confusing to get it all in order. All right, part two, global flood myths. Originally, I was going to include 50 flood myths, and I was convinced to not do that because it was pretty long already, so I did 7. And I'll get to a little bit later, but you won't be missing out on those other flood myths. The rediscovery of Mu in the 1870s by Le Plongeon and James Churchward, and lots of books about that. Easter Island was not founded from Peru. The Rongo tablets are not a writing system. The start of the Mountains of Mu, modern Pacific tour in Hawaii, the Marquesas, and Easter Island. Or was Easter Island the next one? Hawaii, the giants of Hawaii, the Menahun, which are similar to the short black statured beings of Taiwan, and the Marquesas Island Tiki. And I guess Easter Island. I did say Easter Island. All right, that's part 2. Part 3, Modern Mu in Pitcairn Island, the site of the Mutiny Mountaineers. And then Rapa Iti, which has the pyramid. It's the strangely shaped island in the very south French Polynesia. Ravivave, Society Islands, divine beings with 6 fingers. We're talking about the Tiki. The resembling of ancient gods of the continent of Mu, who were themselves aliens and had 6 fingers and 6 toes. Megalithic sites, pyramids, star mounds, ancient giants, Tahiti, right, right. I had it a second ago. Raiatea, Rarotonga, Samoa, American Samoa, the Tonga Trilathon, and how to say that again? Maka fucking Ninga, Leaning Rock, Mua, the ancient capital of Tonga, which refers to the continent of Mu, but also like in the Marquesas, they have ones called Hiva-O, and Hiva is another name for the continent of Mu. And then part 4, we have Amelia Earhart's remains in Kiribati, crashed UFO in Kiribati, and Malden Island. That's the place where they have 40 stone temples or megaliths, not really megaliths, 40 stone something. There are temples, I guess, on 40 square kilometers of land, which makes no sense because it's really small. And how would they build all that on that? But it used to be part of the larger continent before the water, changed. And it was also the site of British hydrogen bombs in Project Grapple, where they tested their nuclear stuff out there. Micronesia, giants, Nan Madal. The Marshall Islands are more radioactive than Chernobyl and Fukushima because of the 67 nuclear tests that America conducted there. And then they collected all the debris and put it in a blast crater, filled it with cement, and it's a coral island, so the radiation still leaks out with every wave, as I say in the video. The Mariana Islands, Latte Stones, and Tautau Mona. I didn't go very much into detail into Tautau Mona. I just explained basically what it was, but I'll talk a little bit more about that later in this episode. The Iwo Jima UFO with the raising of the American flag, iconic moment, and they have the UFO in the background. The Unaguni Monument in Japan, the closest Japanese island to Taiwan, known as the Pacific Atlantis, and connected to Taiwan via an ancient land bridge, which Taiwan has a lot of megalithic structures, including a pyramid, which I go to in part 4. All right. Oh, it says chat disconnected, but I'm still connected. So at least there's that. All right. All right. So now I'm going to look over some of the comments here. I have quite a bit. So I'm not going to say what my response was to the comment, but if you want to see that, you can just go to the episode and read the comments. So someone called so we did part 1. I'm not doing that. I'm just doing part 2 right now. M1D. I like the Rongo tablets connection to Pakistan, and that the Peruvians couldn't have built the Easter Island basalt moai and original walls, as the basalt quarry was underwater 1,000 years ago. Yes, I did say that. Thank you for your comment. The Mohenjo-Daro symbols in Pakistan is what they are. All right, the next one is at where there dude. Hi, nice vid. Thanks, dude. Dexter Morgan 1. At 7 minutes, the passage of time. Now, where have I heard that recently? Cryptic. And then also Dexter Morgan 1. Great video, as usual. By the way, I had my theory of HARP being a missile shield confirmed the other day. Anyway, good job. Keep it up. So if you're up to date with the live episodes, he's talking about a HARP episode from a while back. And now there is one at Baban GC5VE. Here on Guam and the Northern Mariana Islands, each have numerous latte stones, megaliths. They're not what history tells us they were for. Homes. The history, the mainline narrative say they were for homes, but they're not. So he was a little preemptive because, or he or she, because part 2 doesn't mention that, but part 4 does, and he comments later on again, he or she. And I'm very happy to have someone from Guam watching my video. That's fun. All right, part 3. Part 3 comments. Yeah, that was done right. Yes, okay. Part 3 comments. Ava Gold, 2309, a returner. Is that a word? A returning person to comment. Okay. Wow, so much information. You tie it all together so well. Thank you. Let me see, my eyes are not really in the right place. Maybe I'll read it here. Rob F191. Wow, this is a long series. Well, yes, it is. At HUY Holy Fire. Good video. Thanks for your video and info. Thank you for watching. At a human being 5293. Well done. Thank you. M1D again, but that was different video. Wow, I didn't even know Rapa Iti existed. I love the pyramid there. Yes, it's also one of my favorite pyramids. After the Taiwan pyramid, I guess, or the Bosnia pyramid. But I hope I could go there and judge for myself. A few more part 3 comments. Teacher Charles TV. I've been doing research on Easter Island. There is an old map of where a part of it was called Tartary. Exciting. Please share. Another Teacher Charles TV. Would you agree that Mu was likely the Garden of Eden? And since it's the last comment of part 3, I'll just tell you what I said. And I said either that or Ethiopia or Hyperborea. So let's see. Ethiopia is right here. So that's the anomaly for the Garden of Eden. And also Hyperborea could have been Eden, Garden of Eden. But yeah, that's a story for another time. Part 4 comments. Ava Gold again. Thank you. Once again, you bring so much information to us. Princesses and nuclear testing. I never would have known that. Thank you. Thank you too. At Bayban GC5VE. I'm from Guam and have had profound spiritual downloads to everything you have explained here in this video. That is great. I'm happy to hear it. At Tiendaway. How about a video about writing and money were originally devised as tools of oppression? And I commented something along the lines that I want to focus on ancient stuff. All right. And as always, I talk about the upcoming stuff. So I'm happy to say that depending what gets done on time, hopefully it will be an episode about how UFOs are interested in our nuclear technology and some of the best UFO footage like the jellyfish and the MH370 and just some good background images of the UFOs that were the most well-known ones, I guess. Then I mentioned before the 50 flood myths were not included in the part 2 Continent of Mu episode with the global floods. And then I wanted, since I already had all the information written down and everything, so I decided to do an episode just about that. And I cut it down from 50 to 32. So it's going to be 32 global flood myths, and that is under works. And I also have another episode. I'm not sure of the title yet, something about ancient UFOs and USOs. So it's like ancient stories from like ancient Rome 2,240 years ago up until 400 years ago. So it's all the, documented in what was that called? Broadcast press. Anyway, just examples of ancient history UFOs being recorded and passed down to now, including Christopher Columbus seeing multiple UFOs and USO on his journey, but he couldn't write that in his ship log, because you wouldn't want to be incarcerated upon his return. So he coded all the language so that it was cryptic and we would only figure it out decades, centuries later. All right. And a few ideas I have for upcoming episodes, but I have not started at all, are the Prison Planet theory and the Palau episode. But the Palau is definitely getting done because I'm going there to do it. The full moo is basically ready, but I'm not sure when I'm going to post it. And like I said, I'll keep it in case I don't have something ready for this Sunday, but hopefully it will be the UFOs interested in nuclear technology or the ancient UFOs. Global flood myths, I'm going to put that on the back burner, put some space between the continent of Mu and the flood myth because it's a little bit too related. Haha. And the Taiwan pyramid is still underway, not ready yet. I would love to do a deeper dive on the Tau Tau Mona in Guam and the Mariana Islands, but it's possible that I could go there in person and do an on-location episode. So I'll just keep that in my back pocket for now. I have ample stories and ideas of things I want to do, but one thing at a time. So that's all I have prepared, and the chat is still disconnected. So sorry about that, but I'm not going to twiddle with these buttons. It works, it's good. Sorry. Maybe next time. All right, so, well, I guess it's too late now, but I just want to say I prepared this, and I just hold it, and it's in the perfect spot. But I finally took it down because it's finally over, and I can concentrate on other things. I love the continent of Mu, and I'm sure it will always be a part of my life, but for now, it's over. So, as always, uncovering the truth, one conspiracy at a time. See you next week on the White Rabbit YouTube channel.